All right, welcome everyone to Off the Top, powered by Wahl Professional and Sharp Fade. You got your best friends here, Aaron and Byrd.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Byrd, I am super excited to see what's in the box today because I got something brand spanking new. No one's seen it before. No one's heard of it yet. Brand new tool for you to check out. It's going to make you really happy.
I'm excited. Oh, so you have a tool in here, you said?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh, what? So for anyone that's thinking like how this works, like Aaron just brings my box and it comes closed and I just open it in front of you guys. I don't know what's in this box, but I'm excited to see what's in it this time because you said it's never been shown before.
Not that I know. I haven't shown anyone.
No? All right. How did this travel with you?
Yeah, so I guess TSA has seen it.
TSA has seen it. All right. So let's get to it, guys. Let's see what's in the box today. Don't forget, like, comment, share, whatever platform you're watching us. Show some love. We want you on the next Off the Top podcast. All right, here we go. For those people who are just listening to us, I'm opening the box right now.
The anticipation's killing me. I'm excited for you to see this. Yeah.
No way, bro. What?
Yeah.
What? No. Oh my God. Where'd you get this?
Straight out of Sterling, my man.
Oh my God. What? Can you explain to me what I'm seeing here?
Yeah, so what you have here is it's limited edition. It's the all-metal cordless senior clipper. So we've heard a lot of things. We've heard a lot of people say they love those 100-year clippers and they want them back.
Right.
And then from those 100-year clippers, a ton of comments that we had come through, some feedback. They're like, the only thing I wish it had was a fade blade instead of the taper blade, which, you know, different strokes for different folks. So we, no pun intended. So we put the fade blade essentially on the 100-year clipper, and it's an all-metal cordless senior. This is limited edition, so this won't be full-time part of the line. But you can see here it's got the same classic look that everyone knows and loves. It has the same power as the cordless senior, and that same fade blade. So we know this one's going to be a killer, and it's going to be a worldwide limited edition. So it's not just in the U.S. It's coming to all major markets. In the U.S., we're anticipating this is coming around March. I couldn't tell you if it's the 1st or the 31st, but it's coming in March, and then it'll roll out globally after that.
So you guys have your chance for those people. And it's so true because as I was traveling everywhere, everyone, the first question they would ask is, hey, can you get me 100-year? How can I get my hands on the 100-year clipper?
All the time.
Right?
All the time.
So here's your chance to get the all-metal senior with...
Yeah, so it's got the fade blade on it, and also what's coming in the package. So you're also going to have the charge stand comes with it, which I think you got something in your back pocket there.
Oh no, I just needed a charging stand. I just didn't want to show the people because I was gonna use this for.
I thought you were going to propose to me for a second.
No, guys, I'm kidding. So obviously this was in the box, but I was just hiding it because I actually need another charging stand. All right, so here it is. It comes with the charge stand in the box.
In the box.
So you don't have to buy it separately. This is coming out some point in 2021, March 2021.
2022.
Ooh.
Next year.
Sorry. 2022. My year, it's been crazy.
Every day is a blur.
Years, right? No, I mean, 2020 was like a skip.
Yeah.
Like, what the? So 2022, March 2022 is releasing in the USA and will be launching across all different countries.
Yep. So it is going to be limited edition. So this is not going to be a permanent time. This is a quick. You better, if you get an opportunity, if you want this and you get an opportunity to buy one, you better get it because it is going to go quick. what also is nice is not only does it come with a charge stand, it does have the 3 of the premium guides that come with it. So that half, 1 and 1.5 will also be in the package together. So yeah, this is going to be a hot item for us. It's a thing of beauty. We know how awesome the 100-year clipper was. I think this one's going to be just as awesome, obviously just with that different blade. So we're super stoked for it. It's always nice to get new, fresh tools out in the market. So I think everyone's going to be really happy with this one.
Yes, I think everyone was asking for it. They really wanted it. So I think this is the perfect time to give them this.
And the best part is that this is just the beginning of some new tools that we have lined up for 2022. So the next time that you and I get together, there's going to be something. Now, I can't give you a peek now, but the next time we get together, I think you're going to have something else in your box that you're really going to like.
Well, guys, if you want to see the next thing that Aaron is going to put in the box, I need you guys to make sure you share this. Let us know what you think it is down below. What is something that you wish we would release at Wahlpro? Just comment down below. Give us some feedback. We want to know what you're thinking as well. So hopefully it comes into the box on the next session.
Yeah, 100%. We love any feedback you give, good or bad, because you know what? We can't improve our products without that kind of information from everyone. So unfortunately, I have to read a lot of the bad stuff, and then I have to share some of the bad news. But again, it's only going to make us better as a company. So yeah, you're going to be really excited with what's in the next box the next time that we meet. But I'll tell you what else I'm really excited for is our interview with Mr. Ramsey here.
Yes, we have Zach Ramsey here today with us. He's going to be sitting down, speaking to us about all his career, growing, educating, social media, photography, becoming a Wahl educator, traveling around the world, being on the cover of Barber Evil magazines 2 times. I think he's the only one at the moment. And so much more. We're going to really pick his brain because I want to know more about him.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let's do it. Is this the 4th episode of Off the Top, Aaron?
Fourth episode.
4th episode already. Time is flying by.
Yeah, we've had some killer interviews. We've shown some new products, and then we have an awesome interview up right now with the one and only Zach Ramsey.
Yes, we have Zach Ramsey in the building all the way from
New York.
Oh, what part of New York?
I'm from Albany area. My shop's located in Troy, New York. It's just about 10 minutes outside, so I just tell everybody Albany so they know where they're going.
When you talk to people and you say, I'm from New York, do they think you're from the city?
Yeah, and I let them think that most of the time. So they're like, wow, the big lights, the big buildings, all the... I'm like, yeah, sure. Yep.
What is it more like?
It's more, I mean, compared to New York City, I would say it's more farmish. Like, you know, there's a bunch of small cities connected together, and as soon as you get outside those cities, you're seeing cattle, you're seeing cows, you're seeing a whole bunch of farm animals.
That's right up my alley. That's like Sterling. We're like 2 hours outside Chicago, but we just say, yeah, we're outside of Chicago, so
yeah,
no one's gonna know we're in farm town, middle of nowhere, surrounded by corn.
It's a good starting point.
Exactly.
You know?
Cornfields, right?
Cornfields for miles.
And tractor races. I've seen that they do like.
Yeah, I haven't been a part of the tractor pull. I'm more of a city folk kind of guy, but
the tractor pulls are legit. They soup those tractors up crazy. They'll start doing wheelies off them. I don't know what you're doing with the cornfield with that, but
imagine that.
You're making popcorn going through the field doing that.
The motor inside of that thing. Speaking of motors, I seen you, a few days ago. You were doing a class, and we were speaking about motors. You were speaking about the Cordless Legend as being one of your top clippers. Is this correct?
Yeah, honestly, right now, I'd say the Legend's my favorite clipper. And what I always tell everybody that asks, like, what do you think about it? I say, if you were to take a Magic Clip and you were to take a Senior and they were to have a baby.
That's it right there?
There it is. You got the power of the Senior, and you got the nice ergonomic feel of the Magic Clip. So I was talking to Aaron earlier about it, that with the Magic Clip, the way the weight's distributed in the clipper, the clipper makes that C motion for you. So you just kind of move your hand, and then the clipper likes to flick in your hand itself. So it really aids nice in fading.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's backtrack a little bit, because I want to hear more about about Zach. I want to hear about kind of like your story and how did you come up into the industry? Like what made you decide like this is what you want to do?
See, when I was younger, my family was really big on me going to school, going the traditional route, get a degree, diploma, XYZ, etc. Your favorite word. But I knew my personality type with school. I was just gonna, screw off and just do my own thing, doodle on my notebooks while the teachers talk, and I don't pay attention per usual. But so I was going to the barbershop every week to get a haircut at the time. Shout out to my boy Kamal. So I was going sometimes even twice a week. I go get a haircut on like Monday and then go get a line up or something Friday, Saturday to just keep it really clean. And then I got to the point where I was like, well, I've always been into art, pencil drawing, a lot of shading, realism. Why don't I try cutting hair? I was in the mirror every couple days, fixing. I had a chin strap at the time. Don't tell anybody.
Can we show any pictures here?
Oh, you want to see?
No, we'll show it after. You have them though, right?
I still have my original 16-year-old driver's license.
Love it.
And it's atrocious. It's atrocious.
Well, no one has a good-looking 16-year-old driver license.
Do you look like Paulie D?
No.
Okay.
But I did.
Oh, so we might be closer than you think. But yeah, so from there, I started going to barber school. And a couple months in, the school wasn't really organized that well. It was just kind of falling through the cracks. And the teachers, I had one really good teacher, and then the next segment in school, it was starting to get a little wishy-washy. So I took it upon myself to stop going to barber school and just continue cutting hair at my house. I'd cut hair in my local corner store. Shout out to my boy Sonny. I would be cutting in the bathroom at the corner store, and just all over the place. And then my clientele grew to the point where I was getting clientele outside of like my immediate like friend circle. So I needed to get into a space that was professional to provide an environment for professional, people.
Right.
So from there, I linked up with a buddy at the time. We opened up our first barbershop, and long story short, we ended up going our own ways. And then I opened up Fractal. And then since we opened up Fractal, everything just blew through the roof. We were in our new location for a week, and I got contacted by Barber Evo to be on the cover. So it was a cool little rush getting all the shop in tip-top shape to be image ready to be on the cover of a magazine.
How'd you feel about that?
Oh man, it was fulfilling, because that was a very turmoilous time of my life. Trying to transition shops, going through a bunch of stuff, all that, and for that to happen, it was just like, it just made all the negative things that were happening at the time go away.
For sure. It probably gave you a lot of drive.
And it relit the spark, because at that time, I was more in the manager side of things rather than being the player, So being in the back end, you're looking at all of the intricacies of setting up the business, setting up your lights, making sure there's, the floor is repolished, all these things that you want to do before you get the barbershop open. But having Barber Evo contact me allowed me to kind of put a pause on that and go back to being the player, going back to doing the photography, being really super passionate about the haircuts, orchestrating models, their outfits, the lighting, the mood, just to set a certain tone for that collection.
Well, speaking of photography, you're very known in the industry for the type of photography that you do and the type of content that you create. How did you get to the level that you are now?
Honestly, man, a lot of trial and error, a ton. I started off taking photos in my basement, on my iPhone, and I would sit there and be like, why am I not getting a repost? Why am I not getting a repost? And then finally I looked at it and I was like, oh, because the sheetrock behind in the background of the client's haircut photo has a hole in it. Maybe someone doesn't want that on their Instagram feed. So it started making me really break down the things I can do on my side to project a better image and a better visual representation of my actual work. Because I think that's just as important, if not more important, if you're trying to get new barbers, is you want to represent your work the best possible way you can.
For sure. Yeah, you gotta look at things in a different perspective so that you can really understand why people are getting attracted to that type of stuff.
I think that's really good insight to share, and I can speak to, I repost haircuts all the time on our page, and I can speak to that a little bit. Is in the background settings, like if you have that busy shop, yes, it's kind of, it's real life, it's realistic, but if you're looking for your haircuts to be reposted, like it needs to be on a cleaner canvas, needs to kind of have that clean image on the background, because people want to be able to see those fine details on the haircut itself, and not get distracted by the light up Chicago Bull sign in the background, or
a broom,
or a kid in the background, whatever it is. So it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but to your point, like, why is my stuff not getting reposted here, and here? This is a fire haircut. It's like, but it's so distracting.
Yeah. And you got to think about it from the perspective of, the repost page or the company or whatever you're trying to get your work shown out on. Is you got to think, how does it make their page look from the overall perspective? You go on Wahlpro's page and you click on it, and you got a picture of, my haircut from the basement with a giant hole in the sheetrock, and there's like dust bunnies in the corner. That's really not the best visual representation of Wahlpro, is it?
Right.
No. So you might want to get a nice clean background, take a nice image, capture everything with it, and then as a company, you would be proud to show that image.
Right.
100%.
We're not saying that if you have an image like that and you're like sharing your story, not to do it. I think we can all share like an image like that, like a throwback or something. I've shared like,
it's still on my Instagram. I
right,
still have those
throwbacks.
photos. Remember we were going through them the other night?
So like when I was cutting in the basements and stuff, I would upload that onto my page. It's more about don't take pictures of your models in a bad location, or like don't just do it. Like, don't just take the phone out and just snap a picture quick and then put it back in your pocket, not knowing that there's like pizza grease on the damn camera lens. Like, you didn't clean the lens. It was foggy. It looked like, so there's a lot more time that you got to put into, creating content and taking
It's just like
photos.
when you're cooking, there's not just one item goes into the recipe. There's multiple items that go into the recipe to make your overall meal.
Right.
Yeah, love it. I love it. So how'd you get connected to Wahl?
Through Byrd. Byrd contacted me. He hit me up. He said, hey dude, Wahl's putting together like a really strong creative team and would love to have you a part of it. And I trust Byrd with my life at this point. So I know Byrd's a good person at the soul level. So if he says something's good to go, I trust him with it.
Byrd says jump, you jump, huh?
I will. I'm not going to jump that high, but
if you're with Byrd, you'll fly.
I'm more of a horizontal guy rather than a vertical. But
so, crazy story. I met Ramsey at a barber expo in Albany.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like 6 years ago or something like that.
Maybe even longer than that.
It was a long time ago. And I was there judging, and he was one of the competitors. But like something like about the way he was cutting hair was very like surprising to me, because at the time there wasn't many people, like artists, like in the industry cutting the way he was cutting, like the way he was using his shears, the way he was cutting with his clipper, all the techniques that he was using. I'd never really seen them in America, and I was already kind of traveling, so I was like, man, this guy's really good. He didn't win. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people compete and they get down on themselves. And seeing someone like Ramsey has done and accomplished so much things in his whole career, he went to a barber battle years ago and didn't win. So that can shine light on you guys, so you can see you don't always have to win. But that's how I met him. I met him at this show. I was like, hey man, I really like what you're doing, man. You're very talented. I'm going to come back up here and get a haircut. So I drove like 3-4 hours to go get a haircut with him.
Yeah. And that's crazy. To touch back on not winning the show, I think that's another piece of insight to give to, barbers that want to go compete. Sometimes winning the trophy isn't the real win. The real win in that situation was having the network tie with you, because look what it turned into. Now, if I won that competition, I got some $14 plastic trophy. Yeah, I can throw it up on the shelf in my house, but what did it get me? That show specifically wouldn't have got me anything. But then linking up with Byrd, having this network tie, and we meshed personality wise. We met each other. We're like, oh, you're cool, man. And he's like, yeah, let's hang out sometime. And yeah, then he came up, got the haircut, and hit it off. I think we did that photo shoot in the alleyway on top of the dumpster.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot in the alley, Aaron. It was cool. It wasn't a dirty dumpster, so I don't want you to think anything.
Oh, good. A clean dumpster.
They're actually new City of Cohoes trash cans.
Oh, perfect.
They were new.
You guys bring up a good point about competitions in general. You know, there's the competing side of things, which I think is awesome. I've talked in the past, like, I was an athlete, like competitions in my blood. So it's always fun to be a part of those environments. But the other part is just to network and then just to learn from others. Like you can see what others are able to accomplish, what tools they were using to accomplish their look, see what they did with a certain kind of, a certain type of hair texture. You just get to learn and kind of grow your craft there. So of course I'm going to recommend anyone who has a chance, even if they're afraid to compete, like who cares if you win? Like just go out there, put yourself out there. It's a great networking opportunity. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know if you're going to run into Byrd Mena and hit it off, and then all of a sudden you're on the Off the Top podcast. Like it's crazy how these things kind of work out.
Yeah, and the fact that like getting those jitters out, because if you want to be a platform artist in the future, you're going to be going up in front of big crowds. I still get nervous before going up on stage. I could be calm as ever, but as soon as those lights start flicking on and the guy's putting your earpiece in and dropping the wire into your back pocket, it's time to put on the show for everybody. You know,
absolutely.
And what I think competitions could do is it could help people get comfortable in a high pressure situation. Right. It'll get the shakes away, you'll get used to it, and then it becomes just something normal. So then when you are ready to start educating, you already have that calm demeanor and that presence on stage where you can calmly deliver quality information to everybody.
Love it. That's actually really, really great insight, because it's hard to get time to go on stage to represent a brand. Doesn't matter who it's not easy to find that opportunity. So this is a great way to work under pressure, like you said. So that's really great insight. And I think that's something that.
And how often does someone say, hey, you know what? Do what you do every day privately, but do it in front of 500 people. You're like, okay, yeah, I can do that. I'm really good at what I do. And then you go up there and you can have all these thoughts in your head, like I want to perform really well. These people have a high expectation of me, all that, this, that, and the third. But when you get that experience up there, you go up there with this confidence and this air about you, and then you have stage presence, and then you have command of what's going on. And it's just like cutting hair. You cut hair in the shop, your first couple years, you might have someone come in that you don't know how to do their haircut. You get all red, hot, and sweaty, and turn them away from the mirror so they can't see your reflection of your sweat in the mirror. You know what I mean? So it keeps going.
Hey, speaking of sweat, real quick. Speaking of sweat, I want to touch base on an event that you did that many barbers from all over the world,
so much sweat,
would love to attend and be at and actually educate at. It's called Barber Day Conference. It's in Brazil. It's one of the largest events in Brazil. It's in a theater with like about, 35 to 5,000 people. I'm not sure the numbers, and all these eyes are on one person. It's not like a trade, like your usual trade. It's like literally everybody's just
there's like a couple booths out there, and it was like I think there was a Wahl booth and a Booksy booth out there, and that's it. And that's it. There's no distractions. When the education's going on, everybody's in the theater. And then when the there's a pause or there's a little intermission, that's when everyone swarms the vending booths. And there's only a couple, and then everyone comes back in. So the whole show is about whoever's on stage right then and there.
Is that the Seu Elias?
Seu Elias. So Seu Elias, he's also a part of the Wahl team in Brazil, and he's the owner of Barber Day. And what's crazy is that my good friend Ramsey went there to educate. So can you give us a little bit about tell us a little bit about your experience educating in front of thousands and thousands of people at that show, and that being one of your first?
I think that was my first proper stage appearance.
In front of 3,500 to 5,000 people.
Yeah. Why don't you tell them? Were you able to sleep for
6 months? So Byrd calls me up. I'm in the middle of doing a haircut at my shop at the time. I think it was like 6 o'clock on my last couple. And he calls me up. He's like, bro. And I'm like, well, yeah? He's like, dude, I got an opportunity for you. I'm like, okay, what's up? What's going on? I'm expecting like, maybe a little article or maybe something going on. You know what I mean? And he's like, bro, there's this show in Brazil, and it's the biggest show ever. And I'm like, okay. He's like, and they want you to come down. I'm like, all right. So I've never really did a show before, so I'm like, I don't know what this entails. Like, you got me? Like, I don't know. He's like, yeah. He's like, you got to let me know yes or no. I'm like, just give me a couple minutes. Let me absorb it and see what's going on. I'm in the middle of doing a skin fade with 2 people waiting, so my brain's just in the melting pot trying to figure out what to do next. And so I call him back later on that night. I was like, you know what? Yeah, sign me up. I don't want to hear the rest of the details. Just sign me up. Sounds cool. If you're doing it, it must be awesome, And then for 6 months, I woke up in the middle of the night just thinking about different techniques to teach the Brazilian barbers, because I wanted to go down there and bring my best self, because these people are flying me, halfway across the world for the talents they see me do, or the image that I do on Instagram. So I want to make sure I deliver that in person, because I don't want to let them down.
For sure.
And so I would wake up in the middle of the night, I'm 3, 4 in the morning, like, vertical diagonal section, triangular shape. And then what I'll do is I'll do the photography like this to show off the shape. And then I could bring the camera on stage. And then I'm like, all right, I got to go back to sleep.
Your mind's going.
Racing. You should see my notes. I had like pages and pages and pages of 4 a.m. notes on my phone.
And then when you went up there, what happened?
It was fun. It was cool. Like the energy and just the passion in the crowd. I remember Harry was telling me, he's like, bro, you're not going to be able to keep your arms down. So I go out there and I'm like, you see on the video, I'm clapping my hands and then it's just arms up the whole time.
Yeah, we got to put that up. We'll put that up there.
Just yelling. And it's just the passion of the people made me comfortable.
I just want to touch base on that. Like, of course, he was able to educate to thousands of people, but what you just said there, like the way that they're so passionate in a lot of the countries that are less fortunate. I'm not saying that Brazil is less fortunate, but there is, it's a mix. The people don't take anything for granted. It seems like, like the fact that they're bringing all these educators to the show, they're like very huge fanatics of anyone in the barber industry. They really, really, really want to learn. And they're just so down to earth. So like we actually went up to the favelas with Seu Elias, and we helped remodel a whole like new barbershop. And it's just, like changing lives. It's beautiful. So like, how passionate are the people in Brazil?
It's wild. We were about 10, 15 minutes outside of the city center where we were staying. And we were up on top of a mountain overlooking the whole city, just doing some tourist things. And we had people coming up to us like, Byrd, Ramsey, can we take a photo? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, it's the least we can do, And then when they left, I'm like, Byrd, how did they know who we were? He's like, bro, I told you, Brazil is crazy.
No, because really? Aaron, we come from small places. You know, like I come from Waterbury, Connecticut.
I'm in Cohoes. No one even knows what that is.
So they're like small towns. You're in Sterling now, right?
Small town, yeah.
So like for us to, no matter how many followers or how many anything, like, our feet are always on the ground. So when we go anywhere, we're friendly with everybody. But we get there, and I had warned him, like, man, this is different in Brazil.
Yeah.
It was like Justin Bieber landed when Ramsey got there. I'm like, yo, what's happening?
I'm like, you guys are happy to see me? Meanwhile, my buddies are texting me, talking all types of smack, not showing any respect. And I show up to Brazil, and there's someone in the airport wanting to take a photo. I'm like, so you came to the airport just to see us arrive?
Yeah, it's wild.
And I text my buddies. I'm like, you guys better put some respect on my name when I get home.
They'll have a different sign for you when you come back to
the
airport.
Yeah, and it would probably not be as friendly either.
But that's one of the kind of the coolest parts about working with Wahl and this industry in general. Wahl Clipper sells tools in like 165 countries. So like we're pretty much on
almost every country.
Like every continent other than Antarctica.
First clipper to Mars.
We were the first clipper in space, so there's Mars has a chance. Yeah, you got to get a chance. Yeah, we have at the museum. We have a clipper in space that Wahl made.
No way.
It's just so cool to see like the different cultures and atmospheres and different personalities out there. But the thing with hair is like people just have a passion for it. It doesn't matter where you are, and it's really inspiring. You know, I come from like the manufacturing side of things, so you know, we're just in the factory just building clippers all day long, and sometimes you kind of lose sight of like it's for like people and impacting their lives, and people like truly have a passion for what they're doing, and our tools are just like a part of that. So it's really cool to be able to share some of these stories and experiences and photos and images and videos of how these people react, and share it with the people building our tools, because that gives us more passion as we build. And I think that you kind of see that reflected in the quality of the tools and the customer service. Like we're trying to be just as passionate as everyone else. So it's awesome to hear, and it's great to be a part of.
Yeah, and you can see it as someone that just started working with Wahl a couple of years ago. I've been using Wahl clippers for years now, and that's why one of the reasons when I was talking to Byrd about working with Wahl, and I'm like, this works out because my whole idea with everything is to be honest. And if I'm already using that company, yeah, I'm going to support it. I'm not going to switch clippers just to put my name on something, because then your reliability of your word goes out the window. But if I'm already using that clipper, I love that clipper, and then the company comes to me and wants to work, awesome, sign me up.
It's a dream.
And then another thing to touch what you were talking about hair and barbering is we're experiencing now at my shop. We've been training a couple apprentices right now, and just seeing like one of our apprentices I met about 4 years ago, and seeing how he's grown up just as a man, and all the things and the hard work that he's accomplished in this time. His life's changed. He's moved up socioeconomic classes. He's already surpassing, you know, a lot of the goals that he had set for this time. And we have another barber in my shop who's like 28. I think he's 28, and he's in the transition to switch occupations right now, and he's already making good money cutting hair. And it's already to the point where he might be quitting his regular job that he's been at for 10 years to come work in the shop full time already. And that's cool to me, because you're empowering someone with a skill that cannot be taken away from them. Once you understand how to cut hair, once you understand how to the techniques and the theories behind everything, you can't take that away from somebody.
It's like riding a bike.
Exactly. You'll always have it. You'll always have a way to make money. You'll always have a way to survive. And that to me is empowering to the people. And that's what it's all about, in my opinion.
I love it. All right. So my last question I have for you, I know Byrd probably has a billion, was let's talk about a little bit about the Disruptor these last 2 years. Obviously 2020 got, plans got shut down a little bit, but that's life. But let's talk about your experience with the Disruptor. What are your thoughts? Give me some insights on the whole thing, everything that went down there.
Share it.
Once
Share
again,
it
the story starts with a call from Byrd at the shop while I'm in the middle of cutting hair. And he's like, yo, I have Lisa, the director of Wahl Education, on three-way with you. Say hi. I'm like, oh, hello. And she's like, hi, Ramsey. And just our first initial conversation, it was like I was talking to someone that I've known for 10 years. She was real, she was raw, she was to the point, and it just made me, that's how we are at our shop, that's how I am as a person. I like the honest truth, no matter how brutal it is, you know? And Lisa was just a sweetheart, and she delivered everything that we were going to be doing, and by 5 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, yep, sign me up, let's go, let's do this. Give an overview about all the cities that we're traveling to, and like the mission statement of the Disruptor, you know, and it was everything that I get behind as a barber and as a person outside the shop.
Hey, so real quick before we finalize, I mean, Aaron did bring up Disruptor. We had all these stops. One question I did want to ask you is, we started the Disruptor and then COVID hit, so we only did like 2 stops. It was San Diego and Las Vegas. And then we did the trifecta, which we did throughout a whole year. Out of all these stops, is there one stop that is like, whenever we say the word Disruptor, is the first one that clicks in your head, what it is about it? Is there something about like the place or something that was happening? Or
when you say Disruptor, I think about the like the ends of the videos that are created when we're doing the Disruptor.
Yeah.
And it brings me back to San Diego. That trip that we took from San Diego to Vegas, And then we went to Yakuza's mom's house for dinner afterwards, and that was just a whole experience because we always talk about it like Wahl being a family. It's a very close knit company, and the fact that I've only met Yakuza a couple times, and he invited the whole squad over to his house to have dinner with his family, to me was amazing. And then we took the road trip over to Vegas. But then that's where
that road trip.
We stopped at the world's largest rest stop on our way to Vegas. The place was cool. That's where we bought Hector, our giant stuffed penguin.
So shout out to Hector, our stuffed penguin from the original Disruptor. He was actually gonna be like our little mascot through our videos, like our hidden gem.
He's actually at my shop right now on the shelf.
We'll put up a picture of him so you guys can see him.
Please.
He's a penguin.
He scares the hell out of our shop dog. And he's still got the Disruptor shirt on.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Disruptor was awesome, man. It was really. It's funny because I think about the first two stops too, because it felt like a tour since we were on the road. Like it felt
driving the giant vans across the desert.
Yeah,
that was sick.
It was wild. But what you were saying about family is huge. I think that our team, everyone is unique. Everyone brings something different to the table, and they can share all types of knowledge. You know, every single educator brings so much, but the most important thing about it is that we're all like family. Like we all clicked, and I don't think that's like normal. You know?
Yeah,
like,
and it's
I
cool.
played baseball, and there was always that one kid I like didn't click with or something.
Well, you get the all-star team together, and everyone usually has egos because everyone's
could
the
happen.
all-star on their own team.
Yep.
But then meeting all of these other all-stars, you would call them, of the barbering game. First time I met these guys, everyone's like, "Hey, what can I do to help you, make you feel more comfortable?" And everyone's doing that for each other, and it was just like we were friends right off the rip, and we just, as people, we got along. And there's always, I say this always to the barbers that ask me questions about learning how to cut hair, is you can teach anybody how to cut hair, but you can't teach someone how to be a good person.
Sheesh, bing bong.
So to me, that's important. Being a good person first is the most key, because we're going to be spending time with these people. We're essentially living with each other. You know, we're staying in Airbnbs, hotels, we're in each other's rooms, and it was like just having more best friends added to the list.
Yeah,
you know,
you grow together, you glow
Yeah.
up together. It's
Yeah.
it's all teamwork, and you kind of rely on each other to
Exactly.
have have success.
You get to
Aaron
learn
was-
new skills from each barber. You know,
That was big facts right there, Aaron. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean it's incredible, and anytime we ever have conversations about leadership and teamwork, it all comes down to that is being able to put those egos aside and work together to kind of reach that success. You know, Nieves having success, being a NAHA winner and a cover model for magazine, like that's only good for everyone else that's kind of in his circle. And I think you see that support that everyone kind of gave him, and that happiness that we all had for him for his success. It's because of that teamwork and that family environment. And the same thing will happen if Ramsey here becomes a NAHA winner, or if Titan, or if G Wiz. It doesn't matter who it is on our team. Like we all have that feeling together because we're a family, and we love and support each other.
it's a win if one of the family members wins.
Yes.
Amen.
You know,
Yes, and it really does feel, for anyone that's watching, everything, especially at Wahl. Since I've been at Wahl, I've been with Wahl for like 2.5 years now. Everything does feel like family. It is family.
it's
Like,
organic.
it's very organic. It's very cool. I mean, look at Aaron. He's tall. I'm small, and we get along.
And I'm
This is
thick and
crazy.
short.
And what?
And I'm thick and short.
It's just like an evolution here.
It is. So today we were able to speak with Ramsey. Ramsey, man, thank you so much for coming down here to come and speak with us at the Off the Top podcast. I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say to the people? Anything? Like,
Yeah, I want to say straight up, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Byrd. Thank you, Wahlpro, as always. Like, to have a major company to support us ground level barbers and actually be passionate about, pushing the industry forward. And it's unprecedented. A lot of times companies are disconnected with the people at the ground level, but I feel like the people that are, high up in Wahl are still on the ground level with the people.
yes.
And to me, that's important. And one other thing I would say is be your own biggest critic. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, because if you're on the highway and you create your own lane, You're not worried about who's in the middle lane or the slow lane. You're in the fast lane. And by the time you look up and realize what's going on, you're going to be so far ahead, you don't need to look around.
That's a fact. He must be driving a Tesla because it's like if he's looking down, that means the car has to be driving by itself, right?
Yeah, safety first, guys.
Safety first. Aaron.
Then teamwork.
We got to end on that. That was deep. I don't have anything else profound from that. So thank you so much for being a part of this episode with us, for being a part of the Wahl team. I can't wait to see where our journey kind of continues on from here. And to everyone listening and watching, let us know who you want us to interview next, who you want to hear for. If you got more questions for Ramsey, you can follow him on Instagram and TikTok at @Z_Ramsey, or you can, follow us, leave comments below, and we'll see you on the next podcast.
Thanks, boys.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, guys.
That was awesome. That was
Good stuff,
awesome.
man.